Hussein Lalani is founder of the 99p store. Hussein, what do you make of Mary's suggestions?
I actually agree with a lot of what she said. I mean, just talking to the market trader, the conversation we just had, and I do agree, market stalls are often the seeds of a lot of the towns in the UK. And for somebody who wants to get into retail, who has an idea, a market stall is actually an easy way to get into it. If you go to take a shop, you've got the big, you've got a rent deposit, you've got to commit to a 10 or 15-year lease, plus all the fit-out costs. Why not start a market stall? Test out your product, test out your market. If it works, then maybe go ahead and get a proper shop.
What about the out-of-town shopping malls? Should they have to charge for parking, or should councils drop parking charges in town centres?
I think parking is one thing that comes up time and time in the retail debate and how to rejuvenate our town centres. And, you know, the parking wardens are militant, and the restrictions, you know, are very tight, and people will go out of town because there's just not enough parking and it's too expensive.
But you all have to deal with rising costs, don't you? How do you deal at the 99p store with inflation? Presumably it's your product shrinking.
Some of my products do change, and some of my products will get smaller, but whatever products I am selling, it will always be the cheapest on the high street, because we're not as greedy as some of the other major retailers out there.
But obviously you still have to make a profit. I mean, we've looked at the results, for example, this morning from Carpetright, which is showing they barely made £1 million with 500 stores. How much of this do you think is the high street losing, and how much is it retailers generally losing because of VAT rises and wages that don't keep up with inflation?
Well, part of the decline of the high street is the internet. Like, you know, we've heard that Mothercare is closing a lot of stores. That's not because they're going out of business. That's because a lot of their business has gone online. HMV is another victim of online. People prefer to buy their media online, so that naturally will happen. And also there is a decline in you know, consumer confidence. And when people don't go on the high street, they won't spend money. People are worried about their jobs, they're worried about their futures, and they're staying indoors and keeping their hands in their pockets.
Are you doing well at the moment towards Christmas?
We are doing pretty well. In fact, we're opening 5 new stores this week.
That tells its own story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the 99p store, that tells its, you know, that tells its own story.
That's right, but then our business, I mean, pound stores, 99p stores, we acted from street markets. My biggest competitor started in a street market in Burton-upon-Trent. And, you know, again, it's the debate about the bland high street, about, you know, high streets looking very homogenous and the same. But that's natural. I mean, I started with one shop. It did really well, so we opened a second shop. Now, would you say, oh, no, don't open any more shops because you'll make all the high streets look the same? Or should I carry on doing what works well for me?
Would it have been practical, though, to do it as a market stall, or did you need to be indoors?
I mean, once you hit a certain volume, you need to have a warehouse, you need to have shelves, you need to be able to stock, well, we stock about 3,500 products, and I certainly wouldn't be able to do that in a market stall.
Thank you very much indeed.